Hello everybody, and welcome to the presentation on the pet rock versus the Bitcoin, a brief history of the success and failure of innovations. I'd like to start with an overview, give you basically a brief history lesson, go over the success story, go over the failure, and some details about both. So, history of the pet rock. Well, it was inventor Gary Dahl from California who was out with his buddies in a bar in 1975, and jokingly they were having a conversation about taking care of pets and the responsibilities that come with them. As a joke, Gary said, well, if you had a pet rock, that wouldn't require any responsibility. And that's when the idea was born. And later on that year, Gary patented the idea and sold the rocks for less than $4 at the time. But the best part about the pet rock was that it came with this 20-page, witty, hilarious manual on how to take care of your rock, how to train, how to feed, how to house your rock. And the craziest thing about all of this is that he sold over 5 million rocks, which in today's money is over $62 million. He was an overnight success and an overnight millionaire. Why do I think that the pet rock was a success? Well, at the time, the Vietnam War was just winding down, Watergate had just started, and the entire morale of America was a little bit down. This kind of gave rise to an amusing, hilarious, funny, useless thing that was marketed geniusly. Some people consider it to be one of the most ridiculous marketing schemes ever, but it was successful. What Gary did was he couldn't afford any publicity or advertising, so he actually got it all for free. He was in the New York Times, and the next day he had every retail giant calling to order. It really shows that you don't have to sell the practicality of a good, but if you have a great marketing scheme, that will be primary over the product itself. As for pulp culture, well, it was hilarious, it was funny, it was easy, and it came around just around Christmas time, so lots of people got that as a gift for Christmas in 1975. And although it was a fad, it was a very successful one. Unfortunately, that was the great idea that Gary Dahl ever had. So, history of the Bitcoin. Well, it's the world's first decentralized currency. It's not backed by any bank or government. It's solely reliant on the faith of those that are using it. It's a peer-to-peer transaction system. It started in 2007 by an inventor by the name of Satoshi Nakamoto, which some people seem to think is a pseudonym for more than just one person. Although it started in 2007, it did take a few years between patents and getting security in order to become a currency. But in 2010, the first real-world transaction took place. It was a pizza ordered, paid with, by Bitcoin. So after that 2010 transaction, it had a really bumpy ride after that. Later on in that year, share value fell over tenfold. They had a huge security breach. And in 2011, a company related to Bitcoin called Silk Road was fined and closed for trafficking illicit drugs. However, later in that year, in 2011, Bitcoin did reach its $1 US mark and climbed significantly after that, up until 2013, where countries such as China decided to ban the use of that currency in their market. Bitcoin then dropped 61% in 2014, and then again later on in the year by 80%. So although it's still in the market, it is considered by many as a failure. But who knows what the future holds? Maybe one day we'll see this digital currency. Why I think the Bitcoin is a failure? Well, it doesn't really fit our system. Our government's slow to react and our tech companies are too fast. There's no regulation. The IRS declared this currency to be taxable property. So if you were to buy a good worth more than what the Bitcoin is worth, you pay the tax on the difference. Governments would need to give up control before this kind of currency would be successful. Risk. The very volatile market. There's no guaranteed value. Because it's a peer-to-peer transaction, it's not issued by any bank or backed by any government. Every transaction is permanent and irreversible. There's security risks with being hacked into, and there's no consumer protection. The no central authority. Well, there's just no standardization. There's no rules or regulations around it. And this is why Bitcoin will not be a success. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. I look forward to working with you.